What is good, YouTube? It's your boy Sam, and I am back with another video. So as you could tell, I blessed you guys with a 20+ minute video. On the last one, I was not expecting it to be that long. However, I feel like I just had a lot to say, and I felt like I needed to give you guys different examples so you can really understand what it is that I'm saying. And so, yes, this video is going to be a little bit more shorter. We're going to be talking about trading news. Okay, this can be a very controversial one because there are many successful traders out there who trade off of news, if not maybe most of them. Okay, but the point of this video is not to tell you not to trade off of news, but you need to be wary off of the news, right? So just because you see this crazy flashy title doesn't mean you get on the bandwagon. And when I mean bandwagon, the bandwagon can be a good thing, and I've mentioned this before in previous videos, but I mean like just seeing a title saying that company A has this in store, and now all of a sudden you're dumping all your capital in and trying to be a part of that move. No. That is how you lose your money, okay? Trading off of patterns is probably the best way to trade. History repeats itself. A pattern is a clear illustration of something that is going to happen or that's happened on many instances. It is reoccurring. And so based off of that knowledge, you're going to analyze, make predictions, and potentially use that as a tool along with some news if you are a news trader, and make your decision. But we're not just going to go off of titles. Not only that, companies usually, or sometimes, I don't want to say usually, companies sometimes miss their deadlines. That is something that happens all the time, and I'm sure you guys could imagine. Okay, you make a plan, things don't always go according to plan. There are so many different driving factors as to why companies may miss deadlines or miss objectives. But that's just definitely something to keep in mind, because people are going to follow the bandwagon. Okay, and you got to be able to be aware of this so you can follow it too after you've gotten confirmation that is what is actually happening. Let me explain. So, if company A says, hey, we plan on releasing 100,000 products by the next quarter, and for some reason there's something that prevents the production of that 100,000 products, which is very common or very understandable. And as a retail investor, personally, you may understand that this is common and may not be the biggest deal. However, you need to move accordingly, because off of that news alone, what's going to happen is people are going to react, or your different traders are going to react off of that, but because they have to, right? So that's kind of what a bandwagon thing comes along as well. Because like I said, I'm not really that big of a news trader, and I take everything with a grain of salt, but I also understand that a lot of people are going to follow the crowd. Think of traders like sheep, right? They follow each other, and you kind of have to, or you're going to get left behind. So that's just making sure you understand the ground truth behind things. And you can use that to your advantage, right? So if you know people are going to react off of it, or other traders are going to react off of it, you can capitalize off of that. You can better position yourself to enter or exit a trade just off of that information. And you don't let that sway you too much. So with that being said, right, someone who's panicking off of a company not meeting their mark, they might withdraw all of their capital to where it really drives that company down. However, in hindsight, if this is an easy fix and you still see it you still see that company meeting their mark in the near future, and it's a really big news, like let's just say this product that they're releasing is the first in like 10 years or the first product ever to where it can make a huge impact on the company in a good way, you can use that minor setback as an entry point. Company A plans on releasing 100,000 new products that's gonna be revolutionary to the company, maybe even the world, okay? But unfortunately, they don't meet their mark because they were unable to continue on with production for whatever minor obstacles that they may have faced, and it might push the release date a few months from now. Okay, that is bad news, and people are going to react, and we know all the traders are sheep, right? So what that means is you can wait, observe, maybe watch the pullback a little bit, start deploying some shares in there. Like I said, not all at once, right? Maybe I don't want to give you a number because it really all depends on how much capital you're willing to invest, but you don't go ahead dumping your whole portfolio in there, but you consider the fact that this is a pullback. This thing may come down maybe 8%, just throwing percentages out there. I don't want you to use that as the standard, but just to give you an example, right? But maybe you see it going up 30% in the next couple of months, because when it does drop, it might be a really big drop, okay? And so that is kind of how you utilize that to, better make your moves. Now, with that being said, not to contradict myself, right? That is considering news. That's not just trading off of news, right? You're still looking at patterns, right? That's why I mentioned numbers. I mentioned that 8% for a reason, okay? But these are the things that I'm looking at as a trader, considering the fact that news can affect it. But I'm not just reading titles saying, oh my gosh, company A is going to drop 100,000 products and bam, I'm in there because they said it was going to be revolutionary. It's just kind of, understanding how propaganda works, understanding that there are going to be different news articles saying different things, and just being very aware, okay? So always use it as a tool. Don't just make it your single thing to where, you're biting the bait, because it's gonna burn you, okay? And if you don't know what you're doing, right, when that company doesn't meet their mark, or the news hyped up something way more than it is, and you think it's going up, and it goes down, some of you may panic sell, and that's not what we do. Now you're at a loss, now you're trying to revenge sell, and it's just a bad day, all right? So I hope that makes sense. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share this video. See you on the next one.